Hello, Denise here again. Just popped on to show you some notebooks that I mentioned last video that we'll probably have a go at making. I'm just trying to use up a few scraps and just sitting having a bit of a chill. So they're the funnest thing you can make, I think, with scrap paper, and they're so easy. So I just started doing a couple, so I'm going to show you 2 or 3 different styles, but to be honest, there's no right way to do it. Just sit down, grab all your bits of paper and have fun. So we're looking at the things to fill the book that I'm making, the journal that I'm making with the Cougar Park papers from Janie B Journals. But when you're making little scrappy notebooks or tear off notebooks, they don't have to match the stuff that's in the journal. They are literally just scrappy notebooks. So they're tucked in tuck spots and pockets and things like that in journals, and the person that owns the book can either use them to tear bits off and collage with and create interesting things in their book to personalise it, or they can tear bits off and use them in other projects, or they can literally use them as just notes, you know, notepads, write things on them, either write things on them that they want to leave in their journal, or write things on, sorry, I knocked you then again, you know, notes that they can just rip out and tear out, and they are really just a bit of fun, nothing more than a bit of fun, and you can't do any wrong making them. So you can have them as hodgepodge or mixed up or messy as you want them to be. As you can see, they're like different lengths, different widths. Some papers you can write on, some you can't, or you can have them more uniform if that's what you want, but they're still a scrappy notebook, so like the square pieces of paper, still not all neat and like a notebook you'd buy in the shop, but a lot more uniform, lots of white on the back to write on. What you do on the back is completely up to you. You might stick it down on a page, in which case what you do on the back doesn't matter at all. If you're tucking it in a tuck spot or a pocket, you might want it, you know, to take out and be prettier on the back. You can round the corners, you can tear the corners, you can dress them up with lace and bling and pretty things. You can grunge them with ink and just leave them basic, and they're really, really easy to make. So scraps. So this is my scrap box from the last few projects, and it's all sorts of different types of scraps. It's not necessarily the Kruger Park papers, which I've got separately at the moment. So just everything where I've got bits of paper left over and I save them. So there's probably anything and everything in here. And to start with, excuse me, all you need to do is get a few papers that you like the look of and you want to use. I always like to get a heavy piece, either for the back or the front cover. And I have just spotted in there that that's scrapbooking paper, and it's double-sided, so it's quite thick, so I'm definitely going to have a piece of that. I may not have it that big by the time I've done. And then I'm just going to go through and grab some things I like the look of. I might put them all in, I might not. It kind of makes itself up as it goes. Now, I wouldn't use the white edges on those, I would cut them off if I decide to use that. They don't all have to be long, they can be short and stubby, just anything. You could really close your eyes and pick some papers and just make a notebook out of them, as easy as that. Okay, just have that one, I think. Okay, let's see what we can do with that. So you probably only want, I think, of course there's no rules, it's up to you, 5 pages maybe. So where was the nice thick one that I decided? So because that's so thick, I think I'll have it on the back. You can write on that side, you can't necessarily on that. And maybe I'll let that set the tone for the size of it, so maybe I'll do a little bit bigger one, because that's quite a big piece as well. So I like to stagger them. So I like what we call petticoat bottoms on mine. I like them all different at the bottom. And if you ink them, where you tear them, the white bits don't show and they pop a little bit. So I tend to put them to different, some at one side, some at another side, some in the middle. That one wants to go that side, so I might go that side with that one. Perhaps not quite that long tail. So there's so many scraps here, I can't possibly tell you who they're all from. I probably do know, but it'll be the whole video just telling you who the papers are. So if there's a particular one you like, just ask me in the comments and I'll let you know where it's from. But there's a really diverse mix, lots and lots of different Etsy shop sellers papers here. So this one's really going wild. Let's have a square one to bring it in a little bit. How many have I got there? So you can see you can tear and make pretty patterns as much as you want to, or you can just literally use the scraps as you grab them out of your scrap box. Okay, and I think that'll do me. So that, it's got white on the back if people want to write on it, but there's a really good varied mix of colours if people want to collage and create something. And just like I said, there's no rules. You can fasten these any way you want to. I like easy, so I use a stapler. And I use 2 across the top so that I get all the papers in. And actually I don't mind seeing the staples, I think that's part of the junk journaling, but you can cover them over, you don't have to see them. Let's get rid of these scraps. So all of these 3 have got staples in, and I've covered them over slightly differently. So these 2 I've put words from the kit on the front, and that one's got some washi on the back to hide the back of the staples if it's going to be a tear out. Again, if you're not tearing it out, if you're sticking it down, you don't have to hide the back. That one I just glued a piece of paper over them, really so people don't catch the fingers on them more than anything. This one I put the washi all the way around, I think. Oh no, I put a piece on the back again and then glued that. So you don't have to staple them, you can glue them, you could sew them, sewing machine or hand stitch. However you want to put them together. Doesn't, like I say, there's no right and no wrong. They're just really fun things to make. And you could sit down with your box of scraps in an evening and make 10, 20. It's addictive though, I will warn you. And then you can really go to town embellishing them, or you can leave them just plain until you decide what journal they're going in. Let's have a bit of lace on this one because we haven't done any lace. Or a bit of material. We'll have lace because it's quite a big one. If I don't use my scissors. Oops. Pretty up with the yellow there as well, so I'll fabric tack it. Just dot it about, don't need it everywhere. Oops. So as basic or as fancy as you want. You could stamp it, you could put flowers, embellishments, words, bling. Well, let's put one of these really big. Where shall we put it? In the middle of there. Oops, come off. There you go, and that's that one done. That's quite, I want to say neutral, but obviously it's not neutral. It's a complete mishmash of colours, but it's not one for any specific journal. That would be for a very bright journal. And I'm going to leave the back because it's card. I will probably, if I'm using that one, I would probably glue it down. I wouldn't expect people to tear the card off and use it, although they could. I could just glue it across the top and leave the bottom bit like that. So let's make, I've got some papers here from the kit. Already cut out some square ones, so let's make a nice neat one. A couple of the little tags, I thought I might just put one of those on the front. So again, I'm not going to spend ages deciding what goes where, just put them wherever. I'll have that there and the little bird peeping under, yep. So they're all fairly uniform. And shall we have him? We'll staple it in the middle then, I think, and perhaps glue him on the front. So you just make it up and have fun as you go, whatever you feel like doing. That's it, stick him on there. We could make it completely neat and tidy by cutting across all of them. Well, perhaps one at a time would be better, but we could make some nice fancy corners on it. what shall we have across the top of there? Some nice green ribbon. Yeah. So easy and so much fun. It's like being in art class at school, in kindergarten again. Just cut and stick and do whatever you want with the papers, no rules. Do whatever you like. Oops. And if you let the glue dry before you do stuff like that, but it shouldn't take too long. What shall we put on the back? A bit of material. We're really going for it with this one. Whoopsie. Fray it and make it look grungy. Does like to fray this one. Come on, might have to be cut a little bit. My scissors don't like material. I love that grungy bit, but it's not everybody's cup of tea. There we go. So, again, I would probably trust the glue stick to hold this on here if I didn't want it to dry really quickly. Nice thin cotton material like this. Definitely the prick stick anyway. Once it's dry, holds it quite well. And it's a lot cheaper than Fabri-Tac. I do love Fabri-Tac though. I haven't found anything it won't stick yet. Oops. Okay. Where's those little pieces of black bling? Let's go for those as well and really go for it, shall we? It's a very dressed up notebook, that. And of course, everyone's different and everyone may or may not be your cup of tea. So let's just make another little grungy one grabbing. Let's grab some bits and not even look. Oh, oh, not great big bits. That's easier said than done. Okay, what have we got? Want any more card? No, all the same colours. Okay, we'll work with what we've got. We've got this green one here that's got that big white strip on it. Add a bit of green into it. Whoopsie. Okay. If you've got nice big ones, you can also fold them over like that, so you've got double bubble. So let's try a bit of this longer script. Bit of water on it as well, which I like. Created that. Okay, let's do that one just over a little bit in there. And then some of this yellow. It's not really torn, is it? Oh, we've got all the same colours now. If we got a bit of blue for the top. Ah, there's some blue. Just to mix it up a little bit. Obviously you can take a bit more time and choose what you want, but they're just the easiest thing in the world to make. Shall we stick a, well, maybe we'd like that flower instead of that. That's nice. So we stick the flower on it. A couple of staples. Hold everything in. Might turn that one down a little bit. Piece of washi maybe. So my washi is as washi is meant to be, not too sticky, so it's removable. And I'd rather once I've stuck it on here make it stay. So I'll just run it over the glue stick just to give it a little bit of extra. And we'll go around the back with it to secure it. So that's a little tiny one. What did we get? We've got 5, 6. Yep. Stick a bit on the back as well, I think. Show a piece of that. Let's just do it on the glue stick. Let's It's now got fibres all over it. Yep, and what shall we stick on the back? A word. Celebrate. Where shall we have it at the bottom? There we go. So something and nothing really, but if you're looking for something to fill a spot in your journal, you really can't go wrong. Then make a scrappy notebook or a not so scrappy notebook. Use all your bits of bling that you've got out for a project and haven't used. Use all your bits of scraps. Use any little tags and tickets that you've got left. They do look nice with the tickets on, actually. I should have got some tickets out. But again, like the clusters that we made in the first video, you can make loads of them and embellish them when you're ready to put them into your journal. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. It was really basic and really simple. But I had fun. I thoroughly love making them. Okay, so I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.